Well, the conversations are underway in a number of different organizations. So the BRT, for example, is talking about this real time as we speak. I think many of us are using our networks of folks, both inside and outside our companies, to talk about places we can make a difference. But I think can and must each of us do what we can with our workforces and with our partnerships in the communities where we do business. But I think that we can band together also through outfits like the BRT and recognize that we've got to work on criminal justice issues, which an individual company can't do, but probably banding together and advocating policies around criminal justice, around educational opportunity, around access to healthcare, around access to financial resources. These are four big areas that I think collectively we can push for. Not just what can we do as companies, but what can we help implement in the policy space to hopefully put this outrageous behavior behind us.
You say that these are real-time conversations that are happening with you and your peers at the Business Roundtable. How quickly do you think that this is something that can translate into action? We had Randall Stevenson, a former head of the Business Roundtable, on earlier this week, and he said that, look, when any of these big companies kind of put their mind to it, they can have a significant amount of say in policy in Washington, and that we've seen it happen time and time again for issues that are near and dear to any of these individual companies' hearts or that make a real difference for its business. Do you think that this is something where this is a moment that all of these companies are going to stick with this and say that this is an agenda that has to be carried out?
I do. And again, by suggesting for a second that BRT ought to band together and use its force together, I'm not trying to excuse the conduct that any individual company will do. We will continue to be very active in this space as Marriott. But I think collectively our voice will be that much louder. And I think the BRT and other organizations will move very quickly and will not let up on this. I think our employee bases demand it. I think society demands it. I think fundamental aspects of fairness and the importance of opportunity demands it. And I think as a consequence, this event, I don't know whether you had a chance to see President Obama late yesterday afternoon, but one of the things that I found so encouraging was to hear his hopefulness. And we need that hopefulness. We need to take the outrage and the anger, but we need to marry it with hopefulness and say, okay, we can make a difference here. And let's marshal our resources, let's marshal our voices to make that happen.
Arne, let me ask you, it's a question I've raised on this program the past several days. Do you think that the BRT, ultimately, if that's how this is going to work, will and should advocate not just on these issues, but directly on behalf of certain politicians for and against that are for the policies that you are advocating for? And the reason I ask that, and I'm going to try to ask this in the most apolitical way, the same people who were very helpful in terms of lowering corporate taxes in America are absolutely against things like the Affordable Health Care Act, which, of course, helps the people at the lowest levels and often at the lowest levels in our economy, and often people who are black and brown.
Yeah, and so let me I guess answer it this way. I'm obviously not a spokesperson for the Business Roundtable. I think the Business Roundtable will come out and quite soon talk about work that will be done in this space. I do chair the Business Roundtable's task force on healthcare. And I'm quite convinced, based on the work that we've done before, that the Business Roundtable will continue to speak out in favor of access for all Americans to health care. And that obviously gets wrapped into the Affordable Care Act or Obamacare, and there are different political voices at times which are either using that as a symbol to attack or a symbol to defend. Let's stay away from this most superficial symbolism of this and go to the most important fundamental aspect of this, and that is that everybody in the United States deserves access to health care, period. And the Business Roundtable members, I think, overwhelmingly agree with that notion and will advocate for it.